What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's the good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here, and Justin Fields' development this year will be something we're on top of all season long, just like the wide receiver room being under a microscope will be something that could be the catalyst for change. A free agent pickup, cut, trade, 53-man roster, signing or elevation. Who knows, but I definitely think we'll see one, if not two or three moves occur as we progress throughout the season. And there was a name brought up by Winston Wilcox of Fansided. Love a lot of the articles that he puts out that spoke to practice squad players with a real opportunity to make an impact this season. And he tabbed Quentin Skinner as that guy for the New York Jets. Here's the blurb he had. The New York Jets just took 6 receivers onto their initial 53-man roster, and with 3 of them facing some injury issues, Quentin Skinner could get the opportunity he wants to make an impact. Of course, this is predicated on how well Justin Fields plays, but it's likely Skinner gets a chance if receiver depth becomes an issue early in the season. And there's a number of different factors to look at with this, right? When you want to look at the wide receiver room, in my opinion, 2 players are really the only ones bringing excitement. It's Garrett Wilson after his back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, working with a rollout of quarterbacks that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. And it's Arian Smith who brings that home run threat ability, can take an end around from the 25-yard line to the end zone, can turn any broken play or miscommunication into huge chunk plays, or again trips to the end zone, and of course his ability to consistently threaten the deep parts of the field. But there's going to be roadblocks for him, right? There's veterans ahead of him. Will the coaching staff trust him based on the hands issues in college early? Aaron Glenn has alluded to not being fearful of playing younger guys, but also doesn't necessarily want to have to lean too heavily, especially in the wide receiver room, I would imagine, with the commitment to the run game and just trying to get a feel for how well Justin Fields is going to sync up with a lot of these guys. And the pecking order, right? Mason Taylor ahead of him, Garrett Wilson. You can argue maybe another tight end, but of course the trio of running backs as well. But there's also the Allen Lazard conversation. I think you could see a similar situation of what we had with Mike Williams last year, where we just need to get past the Steelers game before you hear news of a Allen Lazard trade to them. But does he end up looking like a productive enough player in the wide receiver room for us this year? Does he end up getting himself cut and or traded? Who knows? But it seemed like the Jets were intentional about making sure they had veterans in that wide receiver room. And even though we have Tyler Johnson on the practice squad, there's nothing saying that Allen Lazard is one of the better run blockers on paper, not being able to fend some of these guys off. With Quentin Skinner, I think it's a pretty black and white conversation that this isn't the guy you just want to throw into the fire. And even if we say that he ends up getting signed to the 53-man roster, there's nothing saying, 1, he can keep that job, and 2, if he'll actually see the field, or he'll be in a healthy scratch, or if he is active. How many snaps are we really talking about? 5 to 10 maybe on a good day. So we'll have to see how all of that stuff pans out. But Quentin Skinner, in the overall realm, is a rare human. 6'5", runs a sub 4.4. You love the athleticism, the jumping ability. Showed in preseason he can high point the ball, make contested catches between 2 guys, make boundary catches, look just a little bit smooth overall for his build as that high cut, lanky strider type of guy. But there's also a reason why he went undrafted. You throw in the fact he wasn't a prolific guy in the collegiate world either. Even though many players go on to outproduce what they did in college, still, there's enough rawness in his game for why the New York Jets didn't want to take a chance on him. But I would love to see him on this 53-man roster, because not only do I think that we need another youthful guy on here that we could look to develop up in tandem with Arian Smith, but you think about packages like seeing, in 3 or 4 wide receiver sets, Garrett Wilson, Quentin, Arian Smith, or in 4, throwing in Josh Reynolds in there, right? Nonetheless, he brings a build, brings some run blocking ability. He's going to at least have some matchup opportunities out there. You look at what Inkstrom did with a lot of the motions, just schematically being able to get a lot of guys open to try to make easier reads for Justin Fields. There's a lot of opportunity to at least say that, not even as a gadget player, but just as someone that you intentionally are scheming up plays for. There's a chance that he could do all of the things that Aaron Smith could pull off. He just has a better size about him, right? So, again, we'll love to see what this will ultimately end up looking like for Quentin Skinner, but there's a lot of questions about how we would get to it, how that would actually work out, and would it be an opportunity that Quentin Skinner can actually capitalize on. One of the things that come to mind is Irv Charles will be a serious conversation at some point, assuming his rehab stays on track, and when he comes back healthy, wanting to add to special teams, and he's going to pretty clearly beat out Quentin Skinner, in my opinion. And so would they be willing to take Irv Charles, who's going to be less of a weapon maybe in that wide receiver room, but still at least has been around the NFL for a couple of years, and again brings that special teams ability. But let me know what you guys think, because I know a lot of you were frustrated that he didn't necessarily make the 53-man roster, but we're definitely elated to see him make the practice squad as we look to try to turn that hidden gem into a gold mine for us. But let me know what you think. What are some of the pros and cons that you have out there about potentially trying to move him up? And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.